In the dim glow of a flickering desk lamp, Elena's fingers trembled as she pried open the hidden drawer in her father's old oak desk. It was a compartment she had never noticed before, tucked away like a forgotten whisper in the chaos of grief. Her father, Dr. Marcus Holley, had passed just 3 weeks ago, leaving behind a house full of echoes and unanswered questions. As the drawer creaked open, a single envelope tumbled out, yellowed with age and sealed with a wax stamp bearing his initials, scrawled across the front in his meticulous handwriting. For Elena, when the time comes, her heart pounded like a war drum. What secret could he have buried here, waiting for death to unearth it? Elena sank into the worn leather chair, the one that still smelled faintly of his pipe tobacco and old books. She tore the seal, unfolding the pages with care. The letter was dated 10 years earlier, a decade before his battle with the relentless cancer that stole him away. As she began to read, the world outside faded, the rain pattering against the window. The distant hum of the city dissolved into the voice of her father, rising from the ink like a ghost. My dearest Elena, if you're reading this, then I've finally slipped away from this weary world. I can picture you now, sitting in my study, surrounded by the shelves of medical journals and half-finished novels that were my constant companions. You've always been the curious one, the one who couldn't leave a puzzle unsolved. That's why I hid this letter here, in the desk I built with my own hands when you were just a girl. I knew you'd find it someday. When the pain had softened enough to let truth in, I write this not as the stern doctor you knew, the man who buried his emotions under layers of logic and duty, but as your father, the flawed, frightened soul who loved you more than words could ever capture. There are things I've never told you, Elena. Secrets that weighed on me like anchors, pulling me under even as I tried to be the rock you needed. But before I unburden my heart, let me take you back to where it all began. To the night everything changed. Elena paused, her breath catching. Her father had always been a man of few words, his affection shown in quiet gestures, a book left on her pillow, a nod of approval at her achievements. What secrets could he possibly have? She leaned back, letting the letter transport her. It started in the summer of 1987, in a small coastal town called Willow Bay, where Marcus Holley was not yet a renowned oncologist, but a young medical student, scraping by on scholarships and dreams. He had come from nothing, a broken home in the Midwest, where his own father abandoned them when Marcus was 10, leaving his mother to work double shifts at a diner. Marcus vowed never to repeat that cycle. He buried himself in studies, determined to heal the world as a way to heal his own scars. That summer, he met Isabella. She was a painter, wild and free-spirited, with hair like raven wings and eyes that sparkled like the sea at dawn. They collided at a beachside festival, literally, when Marcus tripped over her easel while chasing a stray volleyball. She laughed, not mocked, and from that moment, he was lost. Isabella saw the poetry in his science, the way he described the human body as a symphony of cells. They fell in love under starlit skies, whispering promises of forever. But life, as Marcus would later learn, doesn't honor promises. Isabella got pregnant unexpectedly. Marcus, terrified of becoming his absent father, proposed on the spot, married in a quiet ceremony, and 9 months later, Elena arrived, a tiny miracle with her mother's eyes and her father's quiet determination. For the first few years, it was bliss. Marcus finished medical school. Isabella sold her paintings at local galleries. They bought a modest house in Willow Bay, filled it with laughter and color. Elena's earliest memories were of her mother's brushes dancing across canvases, her father's stethoscope dangling like a toy as he played doctor with her stuffed animals. Then came the storm. Isabella began complaining of headaches, blurred vision. Marcus, fresh out of residency, insisted on tests. The diagnosis shattered them: glioblastoma, an aggressive brain tumor. Inoperable. Terminal. Marcus threw himself into research, scouring libraries and begging colleagues for experimental treatments. He sold their house to fund clinical trials, moved them to the city for better care. But Isabella faded, her vibrant spirit dimming like a candle in the wind. On her last night, she pulled Marcus close and whispered, "Promise me you'll let us see the world through my eyes, the beauty, the chaos. Don't let your fear cage her." She died in his arms, leaving a 5-year-old Elena and a broken man behind. Elena, My sweet girl, you were too young to remember the full horror of it. I told you she passed peacefully from an illness we couldn't fight. But the truth is darker. I blamed myself. If I'd caught it sooner, if I'd been a better doctor. Guilt became my shadow. I threw myself into oncology, vowing to save others where I couldn't save her. But in doing so, I built walls around us. I became distant, afraid that loving too deeply would invite more loss. Elena wiped away tears, the letter blurring in her vision. She had always sensed her father's emotional fortress, the way he avoided hugs, deflected questions about her mother. But now, the cracks were revealing themselves. As Elena grew, Marcus channeled his grief into protection. He pushed her toward science, away from the arts that reminded him too painfully of Isabella. When Elena showed interest in painting at age 10, he enrolled her in advanced math classes instead. Art is fleeting, he'd say. Knowledge endures. Deep down, he feared she'd inherit her mother's fragility, that the world would break her as it had Isabella. But Elena rebelled in subtle ways. She sketched in secret, hiding canvases under her bed. In high school, she dated a boy named Alex, a musician with dreams as wild as her mother's. Marcus disapproved, seeing echoes of his own youthful recklessness. Their arguments escalated. Elena accusing him of being cold, Marcus retorting that he was saving her from heartache. One night, after a particularly fierce fight, Elena stormed out. She didn't return until dawn. Marcus sat up all night, pacing, his mind replaying Isabella's final words. The next morning, he found Elena asleep on the porch, tear-streaked and defiant. He wanted to hold her, to confess his fears, but the words stuck like thorns. Instead, he redoubled his efforts at work. His breakthroughs in cancer research earned him accolades, a professorship, grants, even a TED Talk. Patients called him a miracle worker, but at home, the distance grew. Elena went to college on a full scholarship, studying biology to please him, but minoring in art history on the sly. Then came the diagnosis. Marcus's own cancer, pancreatic, stage 4. The irony wasn't lost on him, the healer who couldn't heal himself. He hid it at first, undergoing treatments in secret. But Elena found out when he collapsed during a lecture she attended. She moved back home, putting her life on hold to care for him. Their roles reversed. Elena, the steadfast nurse, Marcus, the vulnerable patient. In those final months, they shared moments of tentative closeness, late-night talks about Isabella, laughter over old photos. But Marcus never fully opened up, fearing it would burden her. That's why I'm writing this now, Elena. 10 years ago, when I first felt a twinge in my side and suspected the worst, I realized I couldn't leave without telling you everything. See, there's more to this story, a secret I've carried alone. Elena's pulse quickened. What more could there be? Your mother didn't die from the tumor alone. In her final weeks, the pain was unbearable. She begged me to end it. Euthanasia was illegal, but I couldn't watch her suffer. I administered a lethal dose of morphine, holding her as she slipped away peacefully. It was mercy, but it haunted me. I never reported it, never confessed. I became a doctor to save lives, yet I took one even if it was out of love. I've lived with that guilt every day. It made me push you away, afraid you'd see the monster in me. But you deserve the truth. Isabella would want you to know that love sometimes demands impossible choices. Elena gasped, the letter slipping from her hands. Her father a murderer? No. A man driven by compassion. Tears streamed down her face as memories reshuffled. His tireless advocacy for end-of-life rights, his haunted eyes during ethics debates. It all made sense now. But the letter continued. Elena, forgive me for the walls I built. I see now that, in trying to protect you, I robbed you of the full spectrum of life, the joy, the risk, the art your mother embodied. You've inherited her spirit. Don't let my fears dim it. Pursue your painting, love fiercely, live without regret. There's one last thing. In the attic, behind the old trunk, you'll find a box. Inside are your mother's unfinished canvases and a letter she wrote to you before she passed. I hid them, thinking they'd hurt too much. But they're yours now. Finish what she started. My time is short, but my love for you is eternal. Be the bridge between my logic and her magic. And remember, even in silence, I was always proud. Your father, Marcus. Elena set the letter down, sobs racking her body. The hook of discovery had pulled her in, but the revelations gutted her. She climbed to the attic, dust motes dancing in the flashlight beam. There, behind the trunk, was the box faded, labeled in Isabella's flowing script. For Elena, my little muse. Inside, vibrant canvases, half-painted seascapes, portraits, abstracts, bursting with color. And a letter, shorter but no less poignant, by darling Elena. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. But know that every brushstroke was for you. Paint the world as you see it, bold, unapologetic. Your father will guide you with his steady hand. Let me guide you with my wild heart. I love you beyond the stars. Bomb. Elena spent the night there, surrounded by her parents' legacies. In the days that followed, she quit her lab job and rented a studio. Her first exhibition, titled Whispers from the Past, featured completed versions of Isabella's canvases, intertwined with her own. Critics raved about the emotional depth, the fusion of science and art, but more than acclaim, it healed her. She visited her father's grave often, leaving sketches and updates. I understand now, Dad, she'd whisper. Thank you for the truth. Years later, Elena became an advocate for compassionate care, speaking at conferences about the gray areas of medicine. She married Alex, the musician from high school, rekindled after a chance reunion. They had a daughter named Isabella, who painted with abandon and asked endless questions about the stars. Yet the letter's echo lingered. Elena often wondered about the unspoken words in other families, the hidden drawers waiting to be opened. As you finish this story, reflect on the unspoken words in your own life. Reach out to a loved one today. Write that letter, make that call, share that hug. Don't wait for when the time comes. Act now before regrets become your legacy. What will you say? If this story touched your heart, don't let the feeling fade in silence. Like this video to honor the words left unsaid, and comment what you would tell someone you love if you had the chance today. Share this story with someone who needs a reminder that it's never too late to speak from the heart. And subscribe for more powerful stories that heal, challenge, and stay with you long after the screen goes dark.